Chosen One!
Welcome to The Chosen One. I am your host, Qui-Gon Din, and today we're going to be talking about Unit 101, Queen Padme Amidala. So Queen Padme Amidala's been doing something really interesting in the latest GT scene. There was a Texas GT in over this past weekend. It was a one-day event, only 17 players. But we got some interesting results. Padme had a really strong run, and I think some people were sleeping on her. She's been on my back burner of wanting to put back on the field post patch. But really, I definitely think the release of Delta Squad is a huge, huge reason as to why she's going good. So let's get right into it. Queen Padme Amidala is a 8 squad point primary. She brings 3 force points. She brings us her active ability. This is going to be her bread and butter, one of her strongest things. Royal Command, choose an allied Galactic Republic unit. Each character in the chosen unit may advance. So her being able to advance a full support, both models in that unit, this is going to be one of the biggest reasons to why you're going to bring her to an event. And this is a trick that not a lot of pieces have, and this can really open up some play. She has coordinate fire, double damage. When a character in an allied handmaiden unit makes an attack as part of a combat action before dice roll, this you can proc 2 damage on someone. This is going to be really good against Kanan lists. You're able to go put them within 2 damage. The coordinated fire will deal with it so that they do not get the Kanan trigger. The big thing is that it's super locked down to handmaiden tag, but this means that the handmaiden box can start punishing out a lot of damage. And I have a hunch as to that's another reason why this with boss, it is pure gas. There's a lot of output here. Crack shot. A lot of people will see this on PLC. This is where she gets it from. Characters in this unit have Sharpshooter 2. When this unit makes a focus action, each character may dash. So when she focuses, she's going to get the focus action. She's going to get a dash off of it, which is going to proc. She's going to get 3 extra dice on her attack. That's very, very strong. And then her identity. Her identity is very, very interesting. While this unit is not wounded, and while one or more characters in this unit are contesting an active objective, if this unit's active stance is faith and diplomacy, Allied Galactic Republic supporting characters contest the same objective even while they are wounded. This essentially makes Queen Amidala a tiebreaker on points that have a wounded support. She's going to basically be able to body points where she's at and really leverage pieces like 7 Scorch and the Handmaidens to kind of back her up in the late game when stuff's going down. Anytime you get objective control, it does some interesting things to the game. And this is no different. A lot of people, this will catch a lot of people off guard. While this unit is not wounded, if this unit's active stance is aggressive negotiations, allied galactic supporting characters within 4 add 1 die to their attack rolls. This was very niche beforehand, and this part of the ability just got a whole lot better when we're looking at 7 Scorch, and now they can get 6 die attacks with Rule 17. It's just more output. It's very, very strong when it pulls up, but that is the big draw here. She's only got 9 health with 3 durability, so she is going to go. She is fairly squishy. She can go down. We're going to look at her attack trees, aggressive negotiations. We look at her She's got 7 attacks, 6 melee attack, and then, the 5 defenses. Her defensive expertise isn't bad, but it's also not great. A block and a heal for 1 and 2 is actually serviceable. She's not the most defensive character. 3 to 4 gets you 2 blocks and a recover. You never want to see more than 3 expertise with her, but she's not doing bad. She's really going to be condition free, at least because of those recovers. Her aggressive expertise, though, this is where she ends up being good. We got a crit 2 with 1, 2 gives you a crit and hit, and then 3 gives you 2 crits and a hit. Her melee expertise is 1 is a hit, 2 is 2 hits, and 3 is 3 hits. So always getting 1 for 1. This is very good. We look at her attack tree. She has 4 damage on 2 results. This is going to be potent at finishing stuff off. And then we got, on her second step down here, we got a damage and expose. She doesn't get a shove till 3. This is definitely her more killy side. But she tops off at 8 damage on this side, 7 damage if you go the reposition route. We look at faith and diplomacy. This is her side where she's going to allow you to have wounded supports contest points that she's on. She's got her defensive expertise doesn't really change much, except her 3 to 4 turns to 2 recovers instead of 2 blocks. This, I feel, is a major downgrade. She is going to melt a little bit faster in this side compared to her other side. The big thing is that she loses an attack die and range on the side, but this is her shove heavy side. And we look at her aggressive expertise. Her melee expertise is 1 to 2 is 2 hits, 3 plus is a crit hit. So it kind of has a higher floor, but a lower ceiling. Her blaster expertise is perfectly fine. It's 1 for 1 hit, 2 to 3 gets you 3 hits, and then 4 plus gets you 4 hits. If you're looking for hits because you're going up against crit mitigation, this side is going to be your best friend. So where do we want to play Padme Amidala? So the first list I'm going to show you is the list that did really well at this past GT. It is the Queen Amidala box with the boss box. So Delta Squad here with Padme. Sabe is still a really strong unit, very much a piece to consider. She has good expertise. The Royal Handmaidens are an interesting support right now that I think people are still underrating. In terms of what they do 2 things. They damage and they move. They have a jump on step 1 of their tree, which means they can really play this objective control game, go after back points. They can get anywhere on the board, and they still have the trooper tag. So that's something that does come up with things like Plo Koon. I think the Handmaiden box is very much a glass cannon. Delta Squad is also kind of a glass cannon, but when you put these 2 aggressive lists together and the amount of movement you have, I mean, Padme moves an entire support. Sabe is moving all the Handmaidens, including herself, towards primaries. Boss is really fast, moving his entire box. It is a lot of gas and it is a lot of output. So if the list isn't prepared for the amount of movement and objective play that this has, it's going to be a bad day for them. But there is one list where I think Padme also really shines, and this is going to be a callback to the original Meta Republic list. Mace Padme is something that used to exist in the early game of Shatterpoint before the Balance Pass, before the release of Empire. Really, Mace Padme was pretty much the strongest Republic list for the first, I want to say, 6 months of the game. Um, just because the handmaidens were probably the best support outside of ARFs in Republic. And Sabe ruled the table. But looking at what the list looks like now, uh, this list is very much similar to my Mace kit list that I've been kind of talking about lately. But I'm looking at Jedi Master Mace Windu with Rex and 501st. This has kind of been my go-to for a Mace list. A lot of recovering with the hunker shenanigans. And I'm a Mace stan at the end of the day. But Mace allows for the Force economy to really take advantage of Padme and Seven Scorch. Seven Scorch are the star here. There's a lot of movement you get when you give them infiltrate because of pawns. So this becomes like a forward deploy unit. Queen Padme Amidala gives them more mobility. There's a cool trick here that you could do with Seven Scorch where you can play Queen Amidala's Royal Command, advance one of them all the way up towards the board, put the other one within range 3 of Padme, or range 3 of the area Padme is going to be in when she makes her attack. You can then make a combat action, attack something, proc Rule 17, and the far unit of Seven Scorch with Rule 17 can get that dash. Having the ability on Padme's turn to go, one of my guys of my Seven Scorch is going to get a full advance and then an additional dash is going to allow you to steal a lot of points. Padme's Royal Command also advancing Mace Windu without having it have to be a combat action. This is why Phil is kind of bad. Really, her positioning on the board is going to be very strong. And then Seven Scorch is going to be a target. And when they go down, Padme can pick up the slack with faith and diplomacy and really still allow them to have a board presence because they can count as contesting at a point she's at. It's very strong. Wounded supports contesting with a primary means that you can body points while she's alive. She isn't the hardest to take down, but she's not that easy to one shot. So, against non supports, she's going to do fine. Mace is really going to unlock the force economy for this list. We are shatter pointing Padme or Seven Scorch a lot because we want Seven Scorch to be doing work. Padme is going to extend the usefulness of our supports even further. 501st are just a workhorse damage unit. They don't do a lot of shoves, but Captain Rex with I'm Always First Kid. The cool thing about this list plays a lot of objective control, and on shifting priorities, you are going to be able to do a lot of midline plays, a lot of crazy setup plays. This list is really, really about playing the objective game and kind of grinding out attritionally. There's a lot of damage output early on in some of these trees. We got Padme does 4 on 2, Pawns does 4 on 2, Rex does 4 on 2. So we have the ability to actually kind of punch above our weight class a little bit. Mace is still a very aggressive piece when you need him to be, but he really is about that bubble here. And we're playing a list where we got Seven Scorch who's got steadfast and protection on points. So we don't have to have Mace within range of them, but the ability to have Mace on the center line, giving Padme the protection steadfast, Rex with the additional healing from his hunker shenanigans means we can start really kind of keeping stuff alive. We got plenty of recovery in this list, so we're not getting conditions stacked out. And this is a list that I will be putting on the table quite a bit. I'm going to be testing it. I was testing this exact same list with Kit Fisto, and Kit Fisto does work, but Queen Amidala, I think, is on the rise again, and I think she's only going to get better from here on out, especially if we get a new balance pass and she gets a kind of a glow up. But I definitely think that people are sleeping on her, and I think she has a lot of room to play with Delta. I think the cool thing about Seven Scorch is they have become like a new workaround where supports are getting more important. So if having Seven Scorch and then like handmaidens on the board like this with the Padme boss list, you have a lot of dynamic plays with your supports, and your secondaries and primaries kind of just boost that even further. Thank you for watching this episode of The Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. If you want to catch the next video, you can watch the one linked above, or you can just go and listen to the podcast on the playlist below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support.